Arne Sorenson, who grew Marriott International into the world's largest hotel chain, engineering a $13 billion merger with Starwood Hotels and Resorts while serving as the company's first chief executive from outside the Marriott family, died February 15 at his home in Washington. He was 62. His company announced the death in a statement. Mr. Sorenson had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 2019 and cut back on full-time oversight of Marriott 2 weeks ago to undergo more demanding treatment, the company said. A successor is expected to be announced in the next 2 weeks. In some respects, Mr. Sorenson was an unusual choice as chief executive of Marriott, a global hotel empire and one of the largest companies in the Washington area, with 30 brands and some 170,000 employees worldwide. He was not a Marriott, a member of the family that had led the company from 1927, when it started as a nine-stool root beer stand in Northwest Washington. And he had not spent years in the hotel industry, learning the ins and outs of housekeeping, room service and elevator maintenance like his predecessor, J.W. Bill Marriott Jr., who took the reins from his father and ran the Bethesda-based business for 4 decades as CEO. Mr. Sorenson was instead a Washington lawyer, and had impressed Bill Marriott while representing the company in a 1993 court case, following debt troubles and lawsuits from angry bondholders. The two men bonded in part over their religious convictions. Marriott is a Mormon. Mr. Sorenson was the son and grandson of Lutheran ministers, and a few years after the case, Mr. Sorenson received a job offer from his former client. Almost word for word the conversation with Mr. Marriott was, "I'll come, but not to be a lawyer," he later told Canada's Globe and Mail newspaper. He said okay. I said okay. There was zero discussion about what that might mean. Mr. Sorenson joined Marriott in 1996 and went on to oversee mergers and acquisitions for the company, handling a $1 billion deal to buy the Renaissance Hotel Group. He was named Chief Financial Officer within 2 years, served as President and Chief Operating Officer in the midst of the global financial crisis, and became CEO in 2012. Under his watch, Marriott became the world's largest hotel chain, growing to more than 1.3 million rooms, according to the data and consulting company Street, and vaulting ahead of rivals such as Hilton Worldwide. "I want to be as big as possible," Mr. Sorenson told Forbes in 2019. At the same time, the company faced challenges including a massive data breach, one of the largest in history, that began at Starwood and was revealed in 2018. Hackers accessed more than 5 million passport numbers, as well as credit card details and other personal information for more than 300 million guests. British regulators fined Marriott more than $20 million last year following an investigation into the cyber attack.